I'm at peace. I think the biggest part is removing that identity that you're a football player.
Right.
Like that, once you can remove that, like you're more than that and you're not just that, I think you're good. But if you walk in and you expect people to still cater to you, you still expect things because of who you were, then I think that's where...
Back in the game, it's 7 8. Step in the room, I'm an elephant. Run up a bag, I ran up a bag. I gotta go count on some presidents. I'm back out the dirt, the sediment. Back with a baddie, she elegant. I'm back from the dead, I'm back from the dead. Bitch, they call me the Revenant. I got big bucks, more than a G, honest. Usually I'm modest, right now I'm being honest. Hoes is the only reason that I went to college. She a freak in the sheets, I might throw some D's on it. Told her, come and get with a man like me. Got the city on fire, my wrist on freeze. She got a booty that I just might squeeze. So she want good dick, be polite, say please. Wrist glisten like a pool in the morning. My friends like porn, that's why we like touring.
Thank you guys for tuning in, staying subscribed to us. Please continue to comment on these videos so we know how you guys are feeling each episode. The likes help us out. They help us grow this family. They help us grow our community. Smash the notification bell. That way you're not pulling up to these last. Yeah, thanks for your continued support. Alex, Isaiah. We like to focus on the business outside of ball for professional athletes. And so today we have an exciting guest. I don't know how we're going to be able to keep this one short because all of our off-camera conversations have been pretty enlightening that this man is invested in a lot of stuff, both from an equitable standpoint and things that he's been able to build. So I'd like to introduce Prince Amukamara.
Prince, thank you for being here, bro.
Man, thanks for having me.
So, I mean,
where do we start?
Yeah, where do we start?
You think we want to kind of kick it off with Prince's path to kind of where he is now? You know, growing up and NFL.
Yeah,
Okay.
Let's get a little bit of background. So, if you can shed some light on, you yourself, your family, and your journey from. I mean, you were 11th ranked recruit out of Arizona back in the day.
I don't know the exact stats, but yeah, that sounds right.
5-star?
Yeah, a 3-star.
3-star. Okay.
Yeah, 3-star.
Okay. So talk to us a little bit about the come up.
Yeah, so grew up here in Arizona, have 5 sisters, Princess Precious, Promise, Peace, and Passionate, right? It's like an alliteration. Say that 3 times fast. They all did sports. Like 2 of my sisters played basketball at Arizona State. My older sister actually played football. And then my other sister ran track, played basketball. So we're pretty competitive, athletic family. My mom ran in, I believe she said the Olympic trials in like 1980s for Nigeria. My dad played a little soccer. So I think we got most of our athletic ability from our mom. Mom's like 5'8", dad's like 5'2" on a good day, 5'2", 5'3". But yeah, dude, so growing up, like we're speaking about shoes earlier, like I had these Sonic the Hedgehog shoes and I thought these Sonic shoes made me like fast. So I just always felt fast as a kid. And then I remember I first played football when I was 6. It was with the older kids and they didn't want to give me the ball. But then when I caught a kickoff, I ran straight to the cone and scored. And they're like, okay, like this kid is going to be picked first from now on. And then played backyard football, which is just basically tackle football with no pads. And then I would go to a recreation after school. And so when I would walk, it would be recreation, field, then my house. So when I would walk from the recreation through the field to my house, there was a Pop Warner team practicing. And I was a skinny black kid and with a big head. And they were like, hey, like race our kid. Mind you, I'm competitive. Burnt him, race this other kid, burnt him. And then so they put a helmet and pads on me. And then I was signed up for Pop Warner.
That's how it happened.
Yeah. And then so that was like at 9 and 10. So I'm thinking, wow, like I was playing football with no pads. Now I actually have gear. Like this is going to be easy. And so I played offense all throughout Pop Warner, was a baller there. High school, I was Arizona School Player of the Year. Played football, basketball, and track, won 3 state championships. in high school. Won the 100 meter, 200 meter state championship here.
Super accomplished.
Yeah, and so and I've always loved basketball, and I had some offers for basketball, but then my high school basketball coach was like, "Don't even bother. This kid's gonna play football." So I go to Nebraska, and it's funny because me and one of my best friends here, his name's Eric Haig. We had the same type of offers. It was like smaller D1 schools, University of Nevada, Reno, Fresno State, Colorado, and then like the big ones were like Colorado, Nebraska, and so we had all of our visits panned together. Yeah, and so we had a deal like whoever commits first, that's the school we're going to. So we get to Nebraska, and I'm thinking college visit is gonna be like how, like, you know, like Harold and Kumar, American Pie. Like I'm thinking it's about to be like lit.
Yeah.
And so I go to Nebraska, cold as heck. We do go to a college party though, and it's whatever. It gets whatever. And we go and meet with the head coach at the time, Bill Callahan, and Eric. He said, "Looks like we're going to Nebraska." I said, "What do you mean, looks like who's going? What do you mean, what happened?" And then he said, "Dude, Bill asked me, like, how would I rate this visit?" I said, a 10 out of a 10. He said, "Okay, well, why don't you commit?" He said, "Fine, I commit." And so Eric was not all there from last night, so he was already at a loss, so he committed. So in my head, I'm thinking, it looks like we're going to Nebraska.
I got to commit now.
Yeah. And so I go on a couple of more visits because I want to still have the experience. And then when I finally commit to Nebraska, mind you, I'm a running back. I get Arizona. I was Arizona State Player of the Year. I was a running back here. Never really played defense.
Yeah.
I get to Nebraska. Bro, they throw me in the defensive room.
First day.
Bro, I'm a DB. And I'm thinking, and mind you, I'm a 17-year-old kid. I go there early, and I'm just thinking like where was the disconnect? Where was the miscommunication? And I can't really complain to my parents because first of all, they're excited that college is paid for in anyway. And so they don't really get, you know, like the business of it in a sense. And so I just go in, I talk to the head coach. I said, "Hey, like, I'm supposed to play offense. I thought you guys recruit me as a running back." And he said, "Oh, we want you to go both ways." So they put me at running back. As soon as I get the ball, I run into an offensive lineman's back, and I never get back there again. And so I'm thinking like, man, so what am I going to do? So the transfer rules are different at this time. If you transfer, you sit out a full year. And so it's looking like I have a chance to either redshirt or a chance to play. And so I'm thinking like, all right, I might as well play because I'm transferring next year. I'm going to sit out. And so the next year comes, Bo Pelini comes from LSU. I go straight to his office and I'm like, "Hey, Bo, I was promised to play running back here, to play offense here, but it looks like I was a little bit manipulated." And he said, "Prince, I've coached a lot of DBs. You look like you would play a long time and make a lot of money at this position." He could have been blowing smoke, but he coached like Dion. He's coached a lot of great DBs, especially being at LSU. And so, or he said, I can play offense. And then I said, "You know what? I'll trust you. I'm going to play defense." And that was also aligned with, we had a team chaplain who I trusted a lot, and he said, "Hey, well, maybe God has you here for a different reason." And at that time, I wasn't really hearing that, but I mean, a couple of years later, I go first round, and it looked like it worked out.
It's crazy. I played college football too, and you see it a lot where a guy comes in at one position, and the coaches already in their mind have, you know, I want this guy to play here. You know, and a lot of times, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So it was kind of a 50-50 chance. Hey, this could work, this could not work. And, you know, for, like you said, a 17-year-old kid, it's like, dang, my whole career is in this coach's hands. But, you know, it turned out it
worked out
on the right side. So that's cool.
Yeah.
You want to go into business?
I think
step into business.
Let's. This is what I'm excited about right here.
I mean, shit, we could have started the podcast here and gone for another hour. So, man, you are diversified. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So let's start with like a general question. Like, when did you start scratching the business itch when you were in the league? And
Yeah.
like, what kind of like inspired that?
Yeah, so when I first got into the league, it was all very vanilla in investing, like stocks, bond, like you're buying blue chip stocks, meaning like Amazon, AT&T, Netflix, like you're just buying just like strong stocks, whatever, just very, very vanilla. And then I kind of started to get into the entrepreneur world by watching Shark Tank on ABC, and I was like, oh wow, like this is really like the American dream. Like you can either come up with a business and pitch it to folks, and they can invest into it, or you can be the investor
On
and
the
have
other side of
people,
the table.
and
Yeah.
pitch to you. And so I thought that was awesome. And I mean, and just even watching The Social Network, like you have a guy, Mark Zuckerberg, come up with Face Smash. I think that's what it was called at first, and in Harvard, and then now it's whatever. Meta is whatever it is right now. But when I first started investing into something outside of stocks and bonds, and I didn't even tell you guys this, it just hit me right now. Las Vegas Golden Knights. I was an investor in that at first. Like I had given them like $800,000
While you were playing.
Yeah, so yeah. I was part owner for like, I mean, you could look at, I was part owner for like almost a year, but like the owners had to be approved by the NHL, and it was taking forever. And plus I didn't really like the perks. And so I was just like, you know what, like this is all the stuff I should have did my due diligence on before, but I just really love the opportunities. Like, all right, like have my money, like I'll ask questions later, just take my money now. But I ended up getting out of that. And then
Can I ask some questions
Yeah.
about that? Because I always wanted to know this. As a minority sports team owner, that's what you were.
Yeah.
Like how, like is there like a distribution play? Do like they pay you distributions on profit? Is profit sharing? Like what does that look like as an owner?
Right.
Of a
That's
team?
a great question. And so that's what I was saying. Like I didn't get answers to any
you
of that. Yeah. Like I remember one time, like I was trying to get tickets to a game, and the dude who put the group together was just like I said, so what do we do about tickets? He said, hey, I bought season tickets, and I'm like, hold on, what? Like we're minority owners,
Put
and so
$800,000 into
yeah,
this thing.
right. But I'm like such a small fish. Like
Yeah.
there's dudes. I mean I think the acquisition price was I think like 500 million or something like that, and so my 800,000
Stake was
doesn't.
jails.
Yeah,
So-
and so to be honest, I don't even have answers to that question. I didn't even know anything about that
Yeah.
yet. Now I would have done. Like I would have my own version of idea dump. I hope.
No, yeah.
Okay, I hope
Let it
I'm
rip.
able to say that. All right,
Yeah.
cool. But so it wasn't until first I got to Jacksonville. I played with a guy named Kyle Bosworth. I played with him in New York, and so he was telling me when I moved to Jacksonville, he was like my realtor. We connected, and he was just like, "Hey man, there's like you should get into like flipping. There's this flip and all this stuff," and he's already been doing it. So we found a house that was foreclosed, $480,000. He said put 120 into it. Now it's 600,000. The 120 was the renovation fee and holding costs and all that stuff.
It's about 300,000 in.
600,
Oh, you were 600.
480, and then
Okay,
120.
You bought it for 480.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then sold it for 843. Took like 8 or 9 months, but sold it for 843,000. I was like, okay, now you got my attention. Like, what more can we or should we be doing? So then we bought condos and rented them to the Jacksonville players, and they don't even know that they were staying in my spots or whatever. So I got in with the player engagement guy at Jacksonville, and then say, hey, anytime guys need a new spot, like picture my spot, it's furnished, everything's set, they just move in, because like you get on practice squad, you get cut, or you just sign, here's the spot. And so I got that going, and that was in Jacksonville. And then I told my guy Kyle, I said, hey, I plan on, like, I'm gonna spend like the rest of my life in Arizona. So is there anyone out there you can connect me with that we could get this going on, get this operation going on here too? And so we end up doing that here in Arizona. He connected me with a guy named Brian, and this guy's a developer and has a construction company, and he kind of mentored me and took me under his wing. And so the first thing we did was buy a duplex and rented it out. And then and that stuff was cool and steady, but it wasn't I don't want to say it wasn't risky, but it wasn't going as big.
Yeah.
It wasn't getting big as fast as I wanted it to. So my cousin shared with me, he said, "Hey, I need can you give me 10,000 to furnish my house?" And I said, "How are you gonna pay me back?" He said, "I'm gonna pay you back because someone's gonna rent it for like 15." So he introduced me to Airbnb, VRBO, and short-term rental. So then I said, "I don't know, man." And a week goes by, 2 weeks go by. He says, "Boom, someone booked it for 15,000." And then I said, "What?" And I gave him the 10,000, and then he furnished his house, and then he gave me 12,000 on top of that to show love. And then I said, "Wow, so you're doing it like that?" And he said, "Yeah." So then I bought a house and I started doing it, and that one went good. I bought another house, so now we have like eight Airbnbs here in Arizona, and we're excited for Super Bowl. and so yeah, but it's been crazy. And my thing I like about Airbnbs is this, or short-term rentals, is that our secret sauce, if you want to call it, is what we do is we find a house. We're gonna add value to it just so the house can be worth more, even much more later when we sell it. It's gonna be worth more eventually because real estate eventually always goes up. But we want it to be more than that just by adding value. So we'll either add a bathroom, either add another bedroom, and then we're gonna renovate it, make it look much nicer, paint, nice countertops, everything. And we always add a pool here in Arizona. You need a pool and hot tub. To get to
That's
entice,
value add in itself,
yeah,
right
100%.
there. Yeah.
Just entice the snowbirds, make it heated, and then so we get money through there by improving the property. Then, as we're holding it, we're renting it. We're doing short-term rentals. So long-term rentals for like a house, like a solid house, is probably like 4,000 to 6,000. But you can get that in 2 weeks
Short
through
term. You can
short term.
really maximize that return. Yeah.
So that's why I like that. So I'm getting money through the renting, the short term renting.
You
passive.
manage them yourself too?
We started to at first, but then when we started to get more,
it's kind of hard.
Now we actually created a management company. So we have our company does that, and so you're making money through passive, and you're making money long term for when you eventually sell it, and then you also making money through the depreciation when you save through taxes. So that's what I love about Airbnb. And then there's a nice spot in here called Arcadia, and we're also developing new development 24 townhomes there, and I'm gonna name it after my daughter. It's gonna be called the Paisley, and so we're excited about that too.
So he's got the itch.
He's getting me excited, man.
Yeah.
You know I love real estate.
Yeah. And then I would be remiss not to mention this literally beautiful restaurant that we're in right now.
Yeah.
We walked in here this morning. We were like, the pictures online don't do it justice, that's for
No,
sure.
that's great.
And we want to check out your new spot, Trophy Room, next door.
Oh yeah.
So you've got 3 different spots like right in this general vicinity. That's all of your like hospitality, business investments.
100%. Yeah. So Chico Malo's the first one right here in downtown Phoenix, catty corner to Footprint Arena where the Suns play. And that's just nice Mexican cuisine. Great menu. I love the churros there. They have nice warm churros there.
So we're going to the Suns game tonight. We should stop
Oh wow,
there.
100%. I'll say
Okay.
I love. And then here, Ren & Wolf, American cuisine. I think it's a seasonal menu just because sometimes like my favorite meal will be on here, and then they'll take it off and change it. But then I'll have a new favorite meal that they just introduce to us and their customers. And so Ren & Wolf has been awesome again here downtown Phoenix. And then Trophy Room, like you said, we're going to check it out, but real nice. It's going to be a speakeasy spot, reservations. I feel like it has a Soho House feel because it's going to be very, very, I don't want to say secluded, but like there's going to be no phones.
Disconnected.
Yeah, exactly. Disconnected. So like no phones, and it's just going to be just a nice like chill warm vibe.
Was
So-
that intentional? Having all your spots right in this general
No.
vicinity?
It's almost like a moat. It's like
Yeah.
a differentiator, right? That alone will just bring people in just so they can experience it, and
100%.
then they stick because
Yeah.
the spot's dope, the food's dope, the experience is dope.
Yeah.
100%.
But like you were talking about a little bit off camera about the cash on cash return of the restaurant.
yeah.
And I think that's an important thing to like underscore here because most athletes, and I think you told me that you were even told this, like are told to like stay away from restaurants,
Yeah.
and you know it's a little bit of a slippery slope because it's kind of hard to make your money back in a lot of ways. So you are popping off with this spot, like
Right.
it's been a very good investment for you. What do you think like goes into that? Like I'm curious, like is it the location that you're in?
Right.
Is it the job that you do and the experience you provide and the partners that you have? Like how is this different than everything that everybody is like forewarned, at least athletes, investors?
Yeah, so I think my risk was minimized because I kind of rode the coattails of Teddy, who's like the majority owner of both, and so I think because Teddy already had a proven concept in Chico Malo, and then he comes here and he does Ren and Wolf, and so I feel like he already like he did all the research and stuff like that. So he kind of just made it easy for me versus me starting from ground up, coming up with a concept. I really just believe he minimized my risk.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good to know because literally just yesterday we were talking to someone that lost tons of investment on like a pizza spot.
Yeah.
And so it was interesting to hear the contrast there.
Yeah. I'm actually in due diligence for a restaurant back in
Wow.
Charlotte now. So I'm kind of going, it's been about a month and a half, 2 months. We take a lot of time on the DD part. And it's the restaurant business is tough because it's the biggest thing is operations, you know,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of waste in the restaurant business, especially something that's higher class because, you know, you want everything to be pristine. You want to
Right.
make sure the user experience is perfect every time. So there's a lot of waste in the restaurant space. So the people that get it right are able to minimize waste.
Very true.
You know, I mean, on top of everything else, customer service, you know, optically how the place looks, you know, that's the easy stuff. But like the biggest thing for restaurants is how do I minimize waste? And, you know, that's the thing I'm going back and forth on. It takes experience because your guy
Right.
has a lot of experience in this space. So it's crazy to like, because I'm so torn on whether to do this deal or not. And just to hear stories like yours to where it works, you know, it's worked for you and, you know, it kind of makes me want to get into space. So
Right. No, I hear you.
And then you even have you said you had an assisted living. Is it like a campus or is it like
It's just a home.
Okay, it's
so,
just a
so
home.
just think of a residential family home, and you're contracted with the state. You're licensed with the state, not contract. You're licensed with the state because you do need a license to run it. And basically, for example, your aunt,
Yeah.
right, dealing with dementia, and you guys want to put her in in one of these homes, we will. Like, we look after her, we take care of her like 24/7. And so these houses have about like, you can be licensed up to 5, 8, or 10. Mine is licensed up to 10. So there's times where I have 10 of them in there. And then we have like, I think 3 to 4 caregivers for those 10. And it's a 24/7
Is this like
operation.
deal flow that comes through, or is this something you were passionate about, or like?
It was deal flow first, and then passionate second. It just made more sense. My wife's father had Alzheimer's and stuff like that, so we have a heart. We have a heart for that. And then when we were looking at this business deal, it just made more sense to give back and to kind of make sure that these people's last 5 to 10 whatever years is spent properly.
That's an important point because, you know, business, like for a lot of people, it's just about the numbers. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Does the numbers make sense? But I think when you get to a certain level and when business is done correctly,
Right.
you kind of scratch 2 itches. You know,
100%.
of course, I mean, you know, it's a great investment, but also I'm able to help people. Like, I
Right.
think that's honestly the most important part.
100%.
Yeah.
So I've got like a couple other business things I want to get to, but like the one that I can't wait any longer to ask about is the FedEx route.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say the
He
strip
wouldn't let
club.
me. He knows what it. I don't know what that means. I feel like you're suiting up in your, FedEx jumpsuit and you're delivering a package to everybody. That's like my knee-jerk reaction. He didn't let you tell me about it before the show. So.
I want to save it for here because I want to see your reaction.
So, you've seen the FedEx trucks that go by your house or whatever.
Yeah.
Those are they're called ISPs, independent service providers. So basically, FedEx outsources all their delivery packages to trucking companies. So you could own a trucking company. However, FedEx pays them to have FedEx's logo on their truck, and so basically FedEx is my like client or whatever. I don't want to say boss because I'm a independent service provider. So FedEx would say, hey, we have this hub, we have this facility, park your trucks there. All the packages are coming on a conveyor belt at our FedEx facility, and then you just load the packages, and it's a logistics company, so you have the map out to where you're delivering. So basically what you do is you can buy zip codes, and then that's your route. That's where you deliver to, and that thing is it's super lucrative if done right, but it's awesome.
So you handle the logistics, or you plug into theirs?
There's already I have like 2 managers that do it all, but there's everything comes on like a modem, so and the managers just plug and play, and the drivers have their routes. They know where they're going. They're usually on the same route.
So you staff the managers and the drivers.
So how I purchased it, I already had purchased it. It was already up and running. So basically, that's how I like to.
That's the cool part, Alex. Right
so
here.
that's how I like to buy companies for the most part. I don't want to start them from the ground up. I already want to kind of pay a premium in a sense. It's already running. So the only thing that switches is whose name goes on the check.
Okay.
But so you can go online right now, look at there's a website called like Route Consultants or whatever, and they have these routes for sale. And it's already up and running. It's someone
turnkey.
It's turnkey. Exactly.
You knew about this?
Yeah.
Exactly. And so UPS is the only one who doesn't operate like that, but Amazon operates like that, and FedEx operates like that. So when you purchase the company, the assets that you're getting are the trucks and the territory, the routes. So the trucks, depending on how many trucks, is probably not going to amount to how much money you're purchasing it for. But because the cap rate is so high, that's why they're able to sell it at a premium. So for example, if a FedEx company is making like $200,000 a year, that company, they'll probably sell it for like $1 million. They'll probably try to 5x the cap rate.
How did you get put onto this? Like your money manager? Or?
So it's actually like my business manager, who used to be my pop owners coach. He operated a trucking company, and so he had found it and he had brought it to me, and I had looked at it. The numbers made sense, and it was right in my backyard of where I live, and so there's a lot of synergy, and we did a lot of due diligence, and we pulled the trigger.
Mailbox money, right?
Yeah. That one's gonna be good.
Because I feel like I've seen that somewhat for Amazon and
Amazon
drivers, Amazon routes, but I didn't really know the ins and outs of how it all worked. I just thought people were like buying trucks and basically like more or less leasing it to Amazon to like help Amazon scale faster and cover more ground, and that 2-day shipping is tight window. So in the spirit of like investments and some of what you've started to participate in, let's talk a little bit about some of the other investment opportunities that you've I guess participated in.
Venture capital.
So other than like real estate and like the FedEx and the assisted care home, venture capital has been huge. Just investing in angel investing. So angel investing means like I'm coming in alone, like with nobody else. Like it's just me, my money. I'm considered an angel or whatever. So I've gone into companies like that, some have failed terribly. Like this is when I was like younger, and but to me, I mean, those are lessons, but those are expensive lessons. But now I know what to look at and what not to go in. But I'm part of a fund. Next Play Capital ran. One of the founders is Ryan Neese, and what he's doing is awesome because he'll have these. They're like pop-up seminars where they'll send out an email who wants to go. We'll go to Silicon Valley, Palo Alto, and we'll visit Instacart. We'll visit Facebook. We'll visit all these companies. It's almost like, have you heard of CES, Consumer Electronics Show? It's in Vegas.
Yeah.
It's almost like a miniature version of that because we're just checking out all these companies, but we get to have a one-on-one sit down with the CEO, with the founders.
And this is pre-IPO?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
You meet with these companies before, okay.
or even sometimes after. Like,
yeah.
like just hearing, like, for example, when we went and saw DoorDash. We went and saw DoorDash, and I told them about the campaign, but DoorDash, it's like I think three or four guys at Stanford, and they had a class project to come up with something or whatever, like a delivery company, and they came up with a delivery company, and they called it like Palo Alto Delivery Service. It was supposed to be like something like fake, and someone ended up calling for their order, and they were like, "Oh shoot! Like we have to, like who's gonna go get the order?" And so one of them went and got the order. I think they got paid like $8 to $10. And then I guess they had left the site up, and it was during Super Bowl when Super Bowl was in San Fran. Wow. And they're fielding all these orders. And then they had to make the deliveries. And then eventually, like it's DoorDash, but just hearing their story and hearing how it started. I mean, and I think they sold a company for like I don't know if it's IPO'd or they sold it, but it was like 3 or 4 billion. But just hearing stories like that, and then talking with, like venture capitalists about like, cause everyone always talks about like, oh, I was in Facebook. I got in on Snapchat early, but it's like, what about your lowlights?
Right.
And then so I would ask them like, why, like what's a company that you passed on and why? And one of them was Uber. This company did, and I said, gosh, how did you, because from us we see what Uber is now. Yeah. And so he said Uber wasn't what it was when it was pitched to me. Uber was supposed to be just a black car service, and the guy didn't think like it was big enough to go crazy. But now Uber's not really a black car service. Uber is like,
that's like, one feature on it now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like me and you can drive up and sign up to be Uber drivers. Now there's Uber Eats and stuff like that. So it wasn't what it was. So you just couldn't see it. And then another guy fell into, this is my favorite one. This guy, he got into venture capitalism because his friend needed a place to crash, and his friend said like, hey, like I'll just give you the money for rent. He said, no, put it in whatever company that you're working in or whatever. And the guy was going to give him like 10,000. And so he tells him, hey, that 10,000 that you gave me is worth 100 million now. The company was Postmates. Yeah. So he used that 100 million. He's like, okay, I'm going to start finding companies early, and then and then crush it. So
did his friend give him some of that 100 million?
No, that's what he told him. That 10,000 you told me to put in my company, your portion, that 10,000 is worth 100 million now. Yes,
that's wow.
I know, and so just hearing stories
that is wild.
Like that, yeah, it's awesome. And so being exposed to that through Next Play, that's one of the reasons why I joined it. And so some of the companies I got exposure to was like Peloton, Coinbase, Lime.
You've invested in all these companies?
Yeah,
okay.
Lime the bikes, Impossible Foods. So yeah, it's been solid.
Super dope. I know you did some angel investing too, right?
Yeah.
Can you talk about Open Doors? Because I think that's a super cool story.
Yeah, dude. So Open Doors, founded by my boys, former teammates, Adi Kunalik and Blake Lawrence, and they have a crazy story too. So Blake, I don't know if he talks about this much, but Blake, it's so funny. Blake and Adi we came in together. They were always like the smart kids in a sense. I don't know if it's smart, but those guys, they just got their work done like efficiently. So we would have we would have study hall. And those guys were the first ones to get out because they had a high GPA. They did all their work. And so they really was about their business. But Blake had a couple of concussions. And so when Bo Pelini came, hey, like, if you were my son, I would tell you to stop playing football. Yeah. And so Blake went on and got his master's in college at the University of Nebraska, and then started this company. And so while he was getting it, I was leaving to go to the league, and marketing stuff wasn't coming my way. And so that's how he had built Open Doors to get athletes paid through tweets and through posts. And yeah, so Open Doors, and especially with NIL coming in now, he was already ahead of it 10 years ago. And so Blake and those guys are doing an amazing job. And yeah, I'm an investor.
Early investor?
Yeah, I'm an investor.
And they modeled it after you.
Yeah. And when he told me that, I was like, oh wow, I didn't know that.
That's dope.
Yeah, that is insane. And I don't want to switch too hard on the subjects, but you're talking about like DoorDash, all this stuff, and I didn't want to interrupt because you guys had a flow going there. But have you heard of this company called Too Good to Go?
No.
So have you?
I haven't, no.
So one of my buddies just moved out to LA and experienced it. It's basically like grocery stores. And what I thought about this because of DoorDash and like what you were talking about with food waste in the restaurants and space. Basically, this company goes is an app that allows people to order food, pick up food. I don't know if they deliver, but they allow you to pick up like food that's about to get wasted. So like example, a pizza company makes a pizza, they're gonna close in a couple hours. They can kind of see like, all right, we got a lot of shit here that we need to get rid of before, otherwise it's just gonna go to waste. So they offer it to people at a fraction of a price, and then they give you like this window that you have to pick it up in, and if you don't pick it up, it goes back on the market, someone else can get it. But I just feel like those opportunities,
I like that.
Quirky little
I like that
opportunities.
too.
I mean, even with the stuff like at even with like the little toothpaste, the little shampoo bottles and all that stuff that they have at the hotels. I mean, even I don't know if there's a business.
I read an article about that where some dude is paid to pick up all the bars of soap at a hotel.
Yeah.
Or a chain of hotels. And then he melts them all down and resells it back to him, basically.
What?
Really?
Yes. Literally just taking waste and like taking trash. Those are the best businesses. You take garbage and you turn it into profitable stuff, opportunities. So
Yeah, that's dope.
I feel like we got one more thing that I really want to touch because we want to be respectful of your time. And maybe it's the most important thing, which you were talking about DoorDash.
Yeah.
And story for you, like back in the day, years ago, Princeton and I didn't really know each other, but we were inadvertently involved in the same project. Something came across my desk, which my team had been working with Prince on a commercial for DoorDash, and Prince was literally delivering food to people's houses.
Yeah.
So he's seen that. He knows that company from the corporate office to the entry level, and he was you were dashing for your foundation.
Yeah.
The others. So can you talk to us a little bit about what your initiatives are there and what all that looks like? Yeah.
And I mean, that's going to be easy. So like when I was coming up with a foundation, like everyone tells like athletes should get a foundation and stuff like that. Some people use it to pay their family. Some people use it like for good and whatever. And some people are always for like one specific cause, whether it's Alzheimer's, whether it's single mothers and stuff like that. And I feel like for me, like that's going to change every year. So I couldn't just lock it down to like one theme. And so I thought about, okay, like what's a word that can kind of encompass like every theme. And that was for like, and that was others, like others, like we believe that life is really about others, and we want to be for everybody, anyone who needs aid. We want to be there for them, and it's definitely modeled after like my faith. Like when we believe, like when Jesus was at the cross, like he was there for others, and so
I love that.
Yeah, so that's why we came up with that, and we put a lot of events. So I do a free football camp every year. And one thing I like about that is when I was younger here in Arizona, like I never got to touch or see like a professional athlete. And I feel like when you get to see them, like if I was 13 or 15 and I got to see someone in the league, I'm able to kind of compare myself to them. Like,
Right.
all right, how's this guy looking and stuff like that. And even just talk to them and stuff like that. But that relationship, just
That
the
presence.
the
Like,
presence,
yeah,
of just seeing them, like that does something for a
Seeing
little
is
kid.
believing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And the goal just becomes that more attainable. And so that's why I do the free football camp. I do a free Christian youth conference. And I remember you were telling me about like they're not 3 E's because you have inspire, you have enable. What'd you say? You have encourage, enable, inspire,
Enable, inspire, empower.
and empower. Okay, I
Yes.
think mine's was encourage, empower, and enjoy, because we want the kids to enjoy the conference and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's mainly what we're about. Is like we're simply for others, and we're gonna do more now that I haven't announced it yet, but I'm gonna retire officially soon, and so
Dang, so
once
the warm-ups podcast.
You made an announcement.
right.
We're like, what the hell do we do now?
I was like, what's that happen?
We didn't know
The
that.
funny story about that, I'm gonna run through it real quick. The funny story about that is last year in 2021. Oh, that's 2022. 2 years ago in 2021, I just finished on practice squad with the Cardinals. I go to I don't get picked up or signed in summer, and then Saints training camp, I'm there, get cut from there, and then I'm waiting, don't get picked up. So now my like mentally, I'm done with football. I'm cool.
Yeah.
Like I'm cool. But I like I said, I like to hoop. I'm still in shape. We get to January, the Colts call me. January of 2022, the Colts call me for a workout, and I'm thinking, like, sure, I'm in shape. I can go.
Were
Like,
you
I
you
can
weren't doing
go.
football, like
I wasn't
specific
doing
workout?
no football, but I was just
Okay.
hooping.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, like, okay, like I can do a workout, because it's like my back pedal, all that is just muscle memory. I can dust that off, and I'm good. So I go do the workout, crush the workout. It was all contingent on them beating Jacksonville and going to the playoffs. They lose to Jacksonville, don't go to the playoffs. But now you just opened up
Something else in you.
you just woke up with a desire that
Yeah.
I put to sleep. Now I'm like, all right, you know what? And then after seeing who's our boy from LA Rams that comes out of 2-year retirement, Weddle,
Yes.
Eric Weddle, man, was
2-year
coaching.
retirement,
bro, comes in, wins. So now that's in my head. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna stay free this whole year, which was 2022, and so this year I was staying ready, just in case. I mean, it's still not over yet. Like there's anything can still happen, but yeah, I was staying ready, and yeah, and it hasn't happened, which like
You're fine with.
oh
yeah.
my gosh,
Yeah.
more than
Yeah.
fine and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And now I'm not even talking about financially. I'm just talking about like mentally. Like
Yeah.
I'm at peace. I
At
think
peace.
the biggest part is removing that identity that you're a football
Yes.
player.
Right.
Like that. Once you can remove that, like you're more than that, and you're not just that, I think you're good. But if you walk in and you expect people to still cater to you, you still expect things because of who you were, then I think that's where that kind of hurts. But when you kind of like humble yourself and go back to reality and like, hey, I'm just a regular citizen in society. Like I shouldn't expect nothing. If people do recognize me or something does happen because of who I was, then cool. But once you kind of remove that ego, that identity of who you were, I think you're good. And I think I've never really had that. I've always thought that I wasn't just a football, like what we just mentioned now, like
Yeah.
entrepreneur and like business dude, like all that, like that's always been inside of me. So I think that really helped me out. And then even like you said, like I'm going from 2 to 5 in kids. Like I have a wife that like I have to take care of and stuff like that. So I'm a father, I'm a husband. So it's kind of
You're that first.
exactly.
So you're starting to drop some gems. And before I let you wrap us, I want to do another like one of those like rapid fire. Before we did rapid fire sports, I want to like do a quick rapid fire business. So if you can give me like one or two liners in response to these, just so we can be quick about it.
Yeah.
I think there's some room here for you to drop a couple more gems. So if you were starting in business, well, something that I appreciate about you is that you are in the trenches. Like you see it at the ground level. You go to the offices.
Yes.
You're door dashing,
Yeah.
whether it's for a commercial or it's just the general interest that you possess. If you're starting in business today with $0, what industry, like what's your approach look like in terms of where you would get started?
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to go real estate, and I would say to get your real estate license, which I got, just because like you can just fall into deals just like by osmosis, just like conversation, just being around people, like, and I couldn't fathom like that many people are buying a house or looking for a place to live like every day, every year. It's crazy. And so just by doing that, like you can get 3% of, say, a $300,000 house, $500,000 house. 3% of 300, that's 9,000. 3% of 500, that's 15,000. Like just sell 2 houses a month or help someone buy 2 houses a month. You're good for that month.
Yeah.
And then from there, you can use that money, get into investing and so on and so forth. And that realtor's license only cost you maybe $500, $600. So that's like the best.
Yeah.
That was the best. That's like the best investment. So one way that I experienced that also was I bought a rental. It was like a $2 million house in LA. One of these TikTokers was renting it for like 15. No, it wasn't 2 million. It was it was 2 million. But one of these TikTokers bought it for like 15,000. They rented it for $15,000 a month. So I was already getting money from it. But then when I got my realtor's license, even though I wasn't licensed in California, the only way you can get a referral fee is by having your license. So the person who sold it for me in California, his commission was like $75,000. I got 25% of his commission. So I got an extra $15,000 just by getting my $500 license. Yeah.
That's insane.
So
he's putting you on now. Well, you got Nike.
Yeah. So I mean, that's like real estate's a big part of my business too. So that's like having someone on a team that have a license. There's so many advantages to that.
Oh my gosh.
You can, get access to
MLS,
MLS access, be able to look at houses as they come on the market, and bro, that's a gem right there, bro.
100%.
3% on even the properties that you buy.
Yeah, that you
personally,
buy.
you get 3% on those too. So it's a great investment for sure.
Yep.
Well, before I get him worked up in the real estate conversation again, what would you say is like your biggest investment secret?
My biggest what?
Investment secret.
Ooh,
The sauce.
man, I would say, I mean, it's kind of, again, it's kind of simple, but it's always buy low, sell high, man. Just because like that's what I'm doing in real estate. Like I'm finding a property, dude, and I'm like a shark that's one thing I love is the negotiations. Like I'm like a shark there, and so try to buy real low. I try to improve the property in whatever way, and then hold on to it for a while, and then sell it. Yeah, so buy low, sell high, and definitely just get educated about what you're going into. There were so many things like for me because I kind of have the capital. I went in there arrogant, like I'm gonna buy this. I don't care. Like I don't care what happens. Like I have the money to kind of withstand any type of failure that I come across. And so because of that arrogance, I've experienced some like for example, there's a company, dude, tell me how dumb this is, right? No, seriously, tell me how dumb this is. There was a company that I'm not naming, but that I invested in it because I saw Swaggy P and Steph Curry invested in it. And that wasn't the only reason, but that was the main reason. I'm thinking, like, they vetted it for me. They were they checked out because they're invested into it. It's like, okay, Swaggy
gives
P
validity.
and Steph,
Yeah.
Swaggy P and Steph Curry was in on it. Okay, shoot, it makes sense. I'm gonna get on it. Spoke to the CEO, was awesome though. CEO, like, run through a wall. Like, the CEO was awesome, but for whatever reason, the company went to kaputs. Like, it failed, and I lost $100K.
On that note, that was gonna be my next question. Like, what was your biggest failure or mistake? Like, we try to get athletes to show their cards a little bit because there's this like notion in the locker room that, like, you know, I'm keeping my failures to myself.
No.
This like macho, you know,
Just see the wins.
yeah. So, you know, we think it's just as important it is to celebrate and show off your wins within the brotherhood, within the locker room.
100%.
We want to do what we can from the outside to create that notion for showing your failures.
Yeah, no, I would definitely say that one was probably my biggest one, and I mean, and then other biggest, I wouldn't call this investments, but just giving family and people money, expecting to be paid back. I mean, those were loans though.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, hey, I'm gonna give you this if you pay me back. Cool. No.
You're
You are
paying
paying
me
me. You're paying me back, and you decide not to.
Yeah.
Okay, like we're
Was no paperwork or anything. Was it? You just like
no
a
paperwork.
handshake. You
And
pay
that-
me back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And so now, like, I've been telling people this, like 2023, like, forgiveness has been, like, I don't think of words for the year, but forgiveness is like, has been the word for my year. Like, there's a lot of people that I've been out with, been on outs with, but like, I'm gonna make sure that they know, like, I've forgiven them, and like, we're cool. However, with saying that though, like, there's paperwork, like, I'm doing paperwork for everything, like,
Right.
everything now, like because even though you think that, like, it's innocent, like, it's like, no,
Nah.
like, and it's unfortunate, but that's why lawyers exist.
Right.
It's because of stuff like that. So I'm not going the cheaper or frugal route. Like, we're doing paperwork, man, for sure.
Family or not, we doing the
Yeah,
paperwork.
family or not, man, and that's the worst. Like,
Yeah.
people always say, and I know I'm rambling and we got to go, but people always say, like, money, like, hey, man, money changes you. No. Money, like, exposes what's already in you, and money sometimes changes the people around you.
Yeah.
Because that whole aunt and auntie and cousins from nowhere, like, you haven't even heard before.
Out the woodworks.
Bro, it's so funny. There's a dude, if you go look at that picture, there's a dude on stage with me at the draft that was like the first time, like, I've met him, and my dad had just brought him. He's on stage with me, and I ain't never, like, met him before. Like, all that stuff is real and stuff like that. And so yeah, like, I've learned so much and stuff like that, and I'm always going to continue learning.
I mean, we don't have to go anywhere. We're just
Okay,
here. We're
sweet.
here for you.
All
So
right.
if you want to shoot another hour, we're down. We got more to learn. But no, like, bring us home, Zay. I feel
Our
like-
famous question, or my
Yeah.
famous question.
And I might want to add one more, but let's start there.
Okay. We like to end the episodes with this, question for you that you can give advice to other athletes. So for an athlete that is hesitant about getting started in business, or has reservations about business, like, what's the piece of advice that you can give them that can kind of make that process easier?
Yeah, I would say you don't have to go in it by yourself head first, but go in it with someone that's trusted, that because that also, like, you always want to minimize risk as much as you can. Listen, I love roulette, and so, like, roulette is the table game, and when I play, I try to minimize my risk as much as I can, and that's how I am in life too. Like, I never drink to this day, never drink alcohol, never smoke to this day or whatever. And it was because, like, I wanted to minimize my risk at getting in trouble or messing up what I had going for me. And so what I say in investing is, like, minimize risk, like, play with something that's not as risky, and whether that could be something as simple as crypto, right? Like, put $200 or $200 into like Bitcoin or whatever, just so you can kind of have that appetite and kind of
Get a flavor for
just get a flavor for it, because like you could read all the books, go get your MBAs, do whatever. You're never gonna know until you actually play the game. It's like a coach trying to tell me to play this technique, and he's never played it. I'm telling him, I'm like, Coach, man, this is tough. And then he gets in and all right, I see what you mean. That's not gonna work against Tyreek Hill. Like, so you actually have to like get in it, and I feel like that's been the best way that I've learned, because like we were talking about customer service earlier, like I've learned so much about customer service through Airbnb and reviews. Like these people will hold you hot. Hey, like such like if you don't want a bad review, like I think you should reimburse me some of that money back, because it was, and it's like you don't want to give in, but it's just like
reviews power the listing in the algorithm.
I didn't know people look. I don't even look at reviews because I see the picture, I see what's on the menu. But like it's crazy, and sometimes the reviews are truthful and stuff like that. So I always say, like, you have to get in the game. Just get in and try to find something that's not high risk, just so you can start it with and stuff like that. Like get in through a fund, get in through a group, just so you can see it and learn. And then once you're ready, okay, go and start it yourself. Like there's so many people who have started, like for example, Elon Musk. He got most of his money from what I've heard and read was through PayPal. So he got in, did PayPal with a group of guys. Then from that PayPal money, started SpaceX, started Tesla, and so that's how it is. Like you get in, once you learn, all right, then you go do your own venture.
I can take the training wheels off.
Exactly.
Dope.
So
you want to keep talking?
Yes, but we can't. We're taking up table space now. That's a check that they're missing out on. So let's dip out. But I haven't asked this question to anybody yet, so you're gonna be the first one.
Okay.
But in each episode, as of recently, people are starting to name drop other athletes, colleagues, whatever. So I want to start adding this thematic in here. What is one athlete that you can think of off the top of your head that we should be targeting next for a warm-up episode?
Easy. Derek Morgan is the first guy that comes to mind.
Yeah.
I'm also invested in Justin Forset's Hustle Clean.
We're seeing him in Dallas.
We're talking to Justin in Dallas.
Hustle Clean, Justin, and see, that's a type of entrepreneur, founder, CEO that like Justin is awesome.
Unreal. And his partner Wale.
Yes, all of the, they so NFLPA has like a thing called pitch day or whatever, and that's how I saw them. They were there at pitch day, and then we just wrapped, and I put money in Justin's company, Hustle Clean, which used to be Shower Pill, which I already loved the name. Cool. But yeah, Derek Morgan, Justin Forset, Devon Kennard, who's actually from
we were supposed to get Devon on, but he just didn't have the availability. Yeah.
Okay.
If you're watching this, we need you.
Yeah.
Devon, we need you on.
I'm just trying to think. I mean,
we heard a lot of good shit about Larry Fitzgerald yesterday.
Oh my gosh, Larry! But the thing is, he's on another level.
Yeah.
But like, because of Larry's transparency, Kelvin Beachum is also another one. But because of Larry's transparency, that's why like I see what he's like. He's in on like Stake 44. The Sun. I mean, the Suns is what I don't want to say it's whatever. But the Suns is a whole nother ball game and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Larry's not afraid to like be transparent with you and like show you stuff. And so when I was with the Cardinals for a little bit, I got to get in his ear. But even before that, like I remember Larry's his own agent.
Yeah.
And I remember I was thinking about going to do that on my own. And Larry said, well, Prince, me and you might be a little bit different, but how I negotiate, I go and chat with Bidwell. We go have dinner at his house, and then we just talk numbers. I said, okay, I'm not there yet. I can't just go to the owner's spot. But yeah, Larry's awesome. But yeah, the list goes on. I could send you guys a whole list. We actually have a Slack or a WhatsApp chat with a whole bunch of guys
that are in the business space.
That do it,
That's dope. That's dope.
All right, man. We appreciate having you on.
Thank you.
I appreciate you, Prince. This was dope, bro.
No, thank you.
Back in the game.
Feeling like I'm about to hit a bomb. I'm like about 300 yards. I'm about to drive that shit. How you say it in golf when you hit it far? I'm about to drive that shit.
I'm back from the dead, bitch. They call me the Revenant. bitch, I'm the revenant. Yeah, 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 ain't this shit evident? Yeah, bitch, I'm the revenant. Yeah, back out the sediment. Yeah, bitch, I'm the revenant. Oh shit, ain't that Lord Lost? That's that nigga from that rap shit. New air and my crown fitted, but I still ain't never on no cap shit. Been a captain of my own ship, back when I ain't have jack shit. Lighting verses since I burned this, got that Weezy F off of that pimp. In the booth.
If you really wanted to, you can go into Tracy McGrady's account right now and say, I love WARMUPS.
Out in Cali, big life moment, couldn't even grasp it. All the stress took a toll, but when the credits roll, I'ma drop a classic. And my city got a blast it, gotta hear it from the rooftop.